Hello and welcome to my review of the 2005 documentary Grizzly Man. This film was praised by critics after its release, and it's easy to see why. Well, relatively easily. Anyways, I'm going to attempt to cover the film's technical and artful aspects, and then give my honest opinion. Grizzly Man details the life of conservationist Timothy Treadwell, who managed to survive 13 summers among bears in various regions of the world, before dying at the paws of his beloved species. Yeah, it's important to note the teeth as well. A fully grown grizzly has a bite force of 1,200 pounds per square inch. However, Treadwell was aware of the potential consequences. He is noted zealously stating, "Once there is weakness, they will exploit it. They will take me out. They will decapitate me. They will chop me up into bits and pieces. I'm dead. So far, I persevere." The mission of the Grizzly Man was simple: to protect and conserve. And in filming his unique lifestyle, he hoped to prove to the world that predators are not a threat to be exterminated or a trophy to display. Rather, friends to be valued. This attitude is prevalent throughout the film and ultimately manifests in a more frustrated and maniacal manner as the story develops. His ultimate fate was decided by outlining faulted decision to extend his stay in bear country, where changing seasons caused desperation among hungry bears. Timothy's progression was captured slowly by including filmed moments of self-reflection and frustration. Although he maintains affection towards animals throughout the film, screaming at the end of a drought or going on a cursing tangent against the State Preservation Corps doesn't reflect well on his character. The frequency of which these moments of desperation occur increases as the film progresses. The director, Werner Herzog, who has dabbled in acting, screenwriting, and operas, skillfully portrays the character and progression of the Grizzly Man through extensive use of real footage and social actors. To begin, I would like to define some terminology I will be using in this review. First, a social actor is an individual relevant to the subject the documentary is attempting to portray. Within the context of this particular film, social actors are used for testimony or to recreate key events in the story of the Grizzly Man. These are real people as opposed to actors that are disconnected from the actual event. Second, distinct cinematic modes refer to the style of the documentary. The mode of this film is expository. The expository mode is characterized by a lack of linear timeline in favor of a format in which the director is able to create greater meaning or touch upon emotion. Also, the use of a single key narrator allows for the director to further influence the viewing experience. In the context of a film review, the director's adherence to and success in its intended mode would help determine whether the film is good or not. Primarily, the mode sought after by Herzog was achieved through the order of the film. Although information about the death and life experiences of Timothy Treadwell are scattered throughout the film, his internal development is relatively linear. Through this, it is evident that Herzog's purpose was not only to represent the character of Timothy Treadwell, but also the turmoil within. Throughout the film, the director interjects himself into the story during key moments. An example of this is when Herzog states, "I believe the common denominator of the universe is not harmony, but chaos, hostility, and murder." This opinion is juxtaposed with Timothy's own as he looks upon the bringer of his death. Furthermore, several people Herzog chooses to interview are also skeptical of the idealistic views of the Grizzly Man. One particularly dislikable character, Sam Egley, ignorantly states that Timothy must have been mentally disabled. A further manifestation of the expository mode is experienced by the audience after the director is shown listening to the harrowing recording of the death of the Grizzly Man. He only listens to it for a short while, though. He asks the interviewee to turn the recording off and recommends destroying the tape. Throughout the scene, the audience is unable to hear the recording. They can only assume the nature of its contents through the emotions of the director. The withholding of this grants the director the authority of information and increases the significance of the scene. Essentially, he determines the tape is too much for us, the audience. To conclude, the expository form is pronounced in the film and functions to represent the tragedy of the Grizzly Man. Upon review of this film, Herzog was successful in directing Grizzly Man and using the expository form well. So, objectively, the film was good. Despite this, in my opinion, the film was incredibly strange. Perhaps the most uncomfortable parts of the film were the interviews or reenactments. The actors spoke in a manner that can be only described as animatronic. The feigned emotion and plastered smiles were downright creepy. The mortician's recollection of listening to the death of Timothy and his friend was suspiciously detailed. These scenes also felt too long, as the subject would stop talking, yet the camera would drag on. Although the use of social actors added to the legitimacy of the film, the interviews were awkward at best. In addition, Timothy's actual footage was quite disturbing at times. His bowl haircut draped across his forehead as he cried for the endangerment of animals. Though a bit off-putting, I felt intrigued by the little obscurities. The nature of this film was almost comedic. After gifting Timothy's watch to his former girlfriend, the mortician puts his hand on her shoulder and mentions it was on his wrist. Not long after, the mortician explained there wasn't much left of Timothy yet. His wrist was one of the only remaining chunks intact. The timing of this almost seems like a sick joke. However, this film has also been one of the most fascinating I've watched. If you are considering watching it, I strongly recommend you watch it with friends. The strange scenes and captivating story will entrance you. Also, I would like to add that this film is from 2005, and some aspects that I find strange may have reflected normal life when the film was originally released. To conclude my review, Grizzly Man is a worthwhile watch and is objectively good, yet is a lot more enjoyable with company. The story of Timothy Treadwell is formatted well, and I'd recommend that you watch it. Thanks for watching my review.